Right, mate, I want to try and make this a quick video as I can do. I just really wanted to explain a little bit about what I've set up for this cave doodah, this cave exploration. I really think we should try and do it as quick as we can between the two of us, or as soon as we can rather, because I think having two of us on it at the same time will be a lot easier to do. This isn't a particularly tricky cave, it's one of the easier ones I'd say, but as I say, I think for the two of us as a good sort of little extra exploration side, I think it'd be quite good. Give you a quick run through about what I've done. So I've created a couple of boxes for us with some stuff in I think we need. In terms of yours, ghillie armour I think we need to go in with for two reasons. One is predominantly a lot of bugs in this cave, and that will protect us quite a bit from them. And two, the temperature in there is pretty hot. There's a couple of lava things around there as well, which will definitely diminish our energy and things like that. So ghillie armour's our best bet. I know I've sort of faffed around a little bit with the old colourings off them, but I've had a look at basically all the armour we picked. As I say, try and hit them crate pods, them drop pods as much as you can, because you get some much stronger stuff and some much stronger gear in there. But basically this ghillie armour I think should be strong. You may have ghillie armour yourself that's better, so by all means go with that, but obviously look at the armour levels at the top. Apprentice level, I think there's a journeyman in there as well. They'll give you an indication of how strong. Obviously Ascendant being the best, Mastercraft next one down, and then I think it drops to what is it? I think it's Journeyman, Apprentice, Ramshackle, Primitive. Obviously Primitive are the ones we create ourselves. So if you've got some better ones, then by all means do it, but just check the armour against that. A couple of things like climbing picks and grappling hooks. Grappling hooks you just attach to your crossbow. Grappling hooks you just use as a bit of a weapon down here on your weapon bar. It has a limited amount of usage for you, but you can't just constantly climb up indefinitely, so bear that in mind. I don't think we'll need them. There's a couple of little jumps we need to do, or little moments we might get into a bit of a pickle with, so it's good to have. What I would say is definitely get yourself, I've thrown it off my shoulder here, one of these cinema crops. We've got a few at the base, as I think I've mentioned them before. They're so good to have, and make life a hell of a lot easier. Boom, triangle, whack them on your shoulder. If I get the old, if I get the old orbit cam up, you can see him there. Holding down X, boom, 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 flaps him, and just flaps you up. You can move around using the analog sticks. As soon as you release X, he'll stop flapping and drop you. Hit X again, you can do a bit more of a controlled land if you like. Equally, from first person, it will just float you up like this. Equally, when you're up here, you can move forward with your left stick, let go of X, hit R3, and it'll glide. You can see there's a bit of a sort of a whooshy effect on the sides of the screen. That'll just show you glide. You can glide for quite a bit actually. Hit R3 again, and it will stop that. And you can guide down, so it just helps get you out of a lot of tricky situations. Keep an eye on obviously that stamina bar. So where you can see on the right of the screen, middle way up, you'll see the stamina bar for your cinema crops. Obviously the middle one is your little lightning bolt. He does have tons of stamina. I mean, if I look, I mean mine's quite a high level now, but you're barely touching the stamina. Look, I'm flying all the way up. Gliding tends to hit the stamina a little bit more like that. See. But even then it's not a lot. Do keep an eye on him, but in terms of his food, so if you look forward, double click triangle, jump him off. They eat chitin. We've got tons of it. Try and keep a few hundred in there at any one time, because as they replenish their stamina, they'll churn through their food, and their health obviously will go down. The food will help replenish that. A few times I've found it where I've completely lost track of how much he's had, run out of chitin, he's then replenished his, eaten all his food, then he's trying to replenish his health, he can't, and then he ends up dying. So, as I say, just keep an eye on that really, but that's really worth having. As I say, will negate the need really for these climbing picks, but I'll throw them in there anyway. Grenades, as I say, keep coming from drops as well. I don't think I've ever really used one or made one, but the animal or the creatures we're coming up against tend to come in like little groups, so it might help us and do a bit of damage to them. Gun-wise, I've gone for shotgun, the double-barreled one. You can do double-barreled or pump-action shotgun you can create at a fabricator. I've not picked up a decent level from any drops of the pump-action gun. That allows you sort of six shots before reloading. Whereas this, I've obviously coloured this one purple now. This one will allow you 2 shots before loading. The reason I want to keep with this one is I think it's better for the bats and that are in the cave. And particularly the ones we've got. Mine's an Ascendant one, so it's pretty decent. I think I got it from like a Red Crate or something. It's pretty decent. I've managed to find you an Apprentice one. You might have a better one yourself, or we'll keep a lookout for it. But that damage of 147, normally, as I say, the one, if you've created one, will be 100. So as I say, it's a pretty decent weapon to have. Make sure you've got enough ammo. I've tried to craft as much as I can do at the moment. A few hundred of ammo in there should be more than enough to deal with anything we've got down there. I've whacked in this one's a Mastercraft sword. I think you've probably already got a sword. You may even have an Ascendant one or a better one. But just in case, it's always a good weapon to have. And as I say, this is Mastercraft one, so it might be a bit stronger if you just created one. And then the torches, obviously, because it's pretty dark in there. You can adjust the settings, I think, slightly on your PlayStation setting or in the game. Sorry, changing the gamma, I think it's called, which means when it's dark, like night time or cave, it's not pitch black dark. You know, you still got a little bit in there. But as I say, primarily, I think we'll use the torches going down there. And I think that's it for gear. And a canteen I've got in there as well, because we might end up consuming a fair bit of water. I'll try and minimise that with something else I'm about to tell you. But the canteen's you'll have water skins and glass jars. Water skins are good, but they do leak water, so they don't really hold it for too long. Glass jars are good, a little bit heavier. The canteen's the best sort of mix in the middle there. I think you make them the fabricated with polymer and that. But I've made us a couple, and you get about obviously R2 to use it, and we'll give you a drink and refill your water. And I think you can use it 3 times before the canteen runs out. You have to refill it again in the sea or a tap or something. So that's it in terms of gear. In terms of items, additional items rather, that I think we're going to need. I've made loads of bug repellent using like lemons and carrots and whatnot. Again, this cave is predominantly bug based. There are spiders, scorpions, bats, and dillos that we've come across plenty of times on the beach. They're your 4 main, and I think only, pardon me, I think main only dinos that we're going to get down there. All come with their own different troubles, but the repellent should help keep the bats, spiders and bugs at bay unless you aggro them or get too close. So it won't make us totally invisible, but will help. Effects last about 10 minutes or so, so we'll bring a couple of them down there. End to end, I think the cave itself is not a huge cave. It should probably take us maybe about 20 minutes or so, depending on how we get on. Pick the artifact up and come back. So it shouldn't take, it's not a huge cave, so that should be more than enough. We'll take a few of them down. We'll take this kaolin soup because it reduces the effect of the heat down there. Obviously, the hotter it is, if you're heating, overheating or burning up, you'll consume a ton of water and your health will start going down. We'll whack one of these. Again, the effects last for these ones 15 minutes. We'll bring a couple of these down and that will protect us from that heat. And the other thing we'll bring is this lesser antidote. I've only got 2 that I've managed to get from crates. You can create it using this leech blood, I think rare flowers and some mushrooms which you can get in the swamps and that. I've not grabbed any of them at this stage. I'll try and make some more if I can. We shouldn't really need it, but we'll take it down. Predominantly because the bats carry rabies. So if you get bitten by one of the bats, or not every time, but often if you get hit by a bat, you'll contract what they class as mega rabies. Again, it will zap your health and slow you down and slur you, whatnot. So those antidotes are really good for just for curing you basically if you have that. You shouldn't really get bitten by bats, to be fair. We'll try and keep them at bay unless they sneak up on us. We'll try and keep them at bay. But the bats are probably your biggest problem down there. They tend to come in packs of like sort of 3, 4 of them. They flap about. They're nasty little buggers. They carry that rabies. They can be quite tough. You can get some high level ones. I think again we'll be fine with the weaponry and armour we've got. But we'll just work together on that. The spiders fire little webs out that will immobilise you for 10 seconds, 20 seconds maybe. Again, if one of us gets immobilised, we'll back each other up. You can see it coming. It's like the dillo when he squirts his poison in your face. You can see it coming and dodge out of the way. So that's easy enough. And the scorpions will sting you if you get too close. Again, they're fairly slow. Well, they sort of scuttle along, but they're relatively slow to get you. So you keep them at bay with a gun, you'll kill them off really simply. So we shouldn't get stung by them. And obviously dillos are dillos that we know about. So as I say, the bats are probably the biggest issue down there, but we'll be able to deal with them, I think, more than easily enough. As I say, box for each of us. I've got the same gear as you. We'll take some of these this soup stuff down and whatnot, and we'll head into this cave. As I say, the heat of the cave is, so if I just work my way into it ever so slightly, the heat at the moment is 22. It's what, 7 in the morning. So it's actually not that cool for the morning. Beach tends to get a bit hot at times, but 22 at the moment. If we go a little bit further, more or less where this smoke's appearing, boom, you're overheating, big flame in the corner, panic, it's shot up to 42. As you can see, your health starts to diminish at the top there. Your water will go down as that tries to account for that. So that kaolin soup will really help us out with that. As I say, in terms of lighting that will take the torches down, I do have a set of these goggles which I'll wear. I found them in I think they're like a red crate or yellow crate, or loot drop rather. They're night vision goggles, so they're pretty cool and they'll be pretty handy to have. I can't make you any at the moment because we need angler gel, and you get angler gel from anglerfish, which are like right at the bottom of the ocean. So we haven't gone down there yet, unless I get some angler gel. Oh, we might have some angler gel in one of our storage units. I'll have a look for us, because if I can get you a pair of these, then brilliant. Obviously, as you go into bright daylight, they really sort of scupper you, but they're quite good for under here, and it will just light everything up a little bit easier, give you that nighttime effect. But no worries if we can't get another pair, not the end of the world. As you come out, you'll see there down at the bottom loading, there might be a bit of a stuttering effect. Let me take these goggles off because I'm in bright daylight. That's just sort of clipping the level of the cave level in and out. If you go in there you go. It says it's loading. The PS5 loads it quite quickly. What's that on the floor? Nothing. The PS5 loads it quite quickly as it goes. Are you on PS Pro or just PS4? I can't remember. On the PS4 Pro, I used to play it, and you might get like a little stuttering effect as you go in and out of caves. Don't worry about it, it will last like a second or so as it loads the level, if you like, and goes in. So don't worry if you think something's going wrong there. And that, I think, is about it, basically, mate. I'll just quickly show you again where we're at. So as I say, if I go up here, so obviously over there in front of me, there is our herbivore island. If I go over this way in front of me and you go round the corner where that cliff is, that's where the port and the pier and that, which is coming along really, really nicely. That's where you are, I think, at the moment. So to coming across, you'll need to just sort of jump across this water. I'd probably just fly over, if I'm honest, mate. I certainly wouldn't swim. There's a couple of megalodons down there. There's also some jellyfish floating around somewhere as well, which will sting and mobilise you and really scupper you. There's some there, look, which will really, really scupper you. So you don't want to go near any of them. So I'd fly across far you, mate, or take the boat. As I say, just come straight across that water and round here. We're not going to take any tames down. I don't think we need them. In fact, I know we don't need them. We're just going off for other caves that we need to go into. We might want to bring raptors in with us, or a flyer or something like that. We'll also come across tougher creatures. There's carnos and T-Rexes and things like that. As I say, this is a fairly straightforward cave. I'd say it's the easier sort of cave going into. Most of the caves, there's probably about 15 plus caves or so on the island. Not all of them contain artifacts. There's about 10 of them, and they're pretty much all found in caves. But I'd say, you've got underwater caves, you've got these sort of beach caves, you've got ones inland, you've got ones in the snow biome, etc. All come with their own challenges, all come with nastier things. Pretty much all of them contain, I'd say, spiders and bats, and obviously other than the underwater ones, spiders, bats, and probably scorpions. And then you move into things like snakes, you might have come across before, giant snakes. Like millipede things, electric eels, etc., just as your general bugs, and then you've got the bigger dinos. So I'd say this is one of the easier caves to get started. I think it's a good starter cave to get going with, and we'll go from there, mate. But as I say, we're based over here. I think we're set up. If you got you may well have much better gear and things like that. So bring that over. I've tried to sort of set us up as best as possible. Go in and we do it. But I reckon that's the next step, mate. So as I say, get yourself one of these cinnamon crops, guys, from the other island. It doesn't matter. It doesn't have to be a high level. You could try taming it. I say I've already tamed a few. They're a bit of a pain to tame, but we've got a few sitting around there that you'll see on our base. Get yourself one of them on your back, and jump in. And as I say, if you need it, you've got gear here, pretty much all set up for this cave, I reckon. And we'll give that a go, mate.